Through education, you do change lives, and through changing lives and making lives better, I love the theme.
You need to be a better version of yourself.
I lost my father very young. I was very young. My mum wasn't very old. I lost my older brother. Education and what we do somehow contribute to life, and it definitely contributes to happiness.
And if you're even 0.1% better than yesterday and you're at it, you will do good over a period of time.
Your MBA from the equivalent of a British university credential that you would have paid £15,000 in the UK ends up costing you €2,100. I'm pretty sure you're going to get a return on your investment.
So many international universities can't survive without international students. That's a fact. Hey everyone, trust everyone doing great. It's another episode of The Living Pod by Saurabh, where the theme is Live, Learn, Achieve. The theme of this podcast and the guest today is aligned with the theme of Live, Learn, Achieve. Not only he is one of the smartest guy in the industry, because I also met him first time, but I realized if I ask his age and if you get his age and you see the energy, if you see the looks, and more importantly, the kind of experience, the kind of work he been doing in the industry, it's definitely inspiring, but also very, very insightful. So let's try to pick his brain today and take all those wisdom and insight which he have developed over probably decade of experiences. Raj, how you been doing?
Saurabh, thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. I am overwhelmed. I'm humbled. You're too kind. Thank you for having me here.
But what did I say which is not right?
It was too kind. It was
But
too kind.
we can, okay, guys, not that we have Shah Rukh Khan, but none less than him.
Thank you so much. So, again, great to be here. Absolutely humbled. I love the theme. I think it's so true. And you know what? The door to happiness opens inwards. And if you don't live life to your maximum goals, it's very hard to have the happiness. So it's really important. And education and what we do somehow contributes to life, and it definitely contributes to happiness. So I love what you're doing. And again, thank you for having me here.
Are you a global citizen? Because I guess you born in Kenya, raised in UK, traveled the world, imparting education with a purpose. Is that the right way to introduce you formally?
I think first and foremost, we're humans. I think, it's just nice to be known as Raj. I think experience is and learning is two ways. I agree with you, Saurabh. You said be candid. Definitely, I do try and impart knowledge, but you can only impart knowledge. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen probably twice as much as you speak. So I think you're able to impart knowledge when you yourself are opening to feedback and listening. So I've been blessed to visit a number of places, as you said, and part of the reason I go is to meet people and learn from them. I spent a lot of my time in the classroom. I was blessed to teach for 25 years of my life. And almost every class, the first session was, I'm here to learn from you as much as you are from me. And I think that's really important. So a person is fine. A human is fine. Don't have to
Tell me your journey. How did you move to UK and how did you introduce yourself as a human, as an educationist? But you are senior leader at GEDU. I know a bit about GEDU. I'm sure lots of people know about GEDU, but I believe the work you've been doing, the more people should be knowing about you, GEDU, and your purpose. So you want to start with your...
Certainly. Of course, I'm not Indian by nationality or by passport. Start with that. But I think there's a wonderful saying, you might be able to take a man out of India, but you never take India out of a man. I consider myself to be Indian. I was born in Kenya in the 60s. Kenya was a British colony at the time. So we had British passports. Moved to London in 1974. Pretty much did my schooling, early education, high school and university in London. Ambition in the early days was to become an accountant. And that didn't last too long. But
Why so? Why accounting?
Would you believe?
Is it because you are from Kenya and you are from India, went to Kenya and, most of people who are based in Kenya, they are more Gujarati, and like the noise of that money, that coins, is that the fascination?
It's a good point, and we are influenced by people, and perhaps my example is a good learning curve for people. So I had a best friend when I moved to London when I was 9 years old. He was the first friend that I really sort of got to know. Coming from Kenya, I did know some English, but my English was not very good. And there was a good friend of mine who used to live down the road, went to the same school, and his father was an accountant. And so I just got talking to Uncle, and I said, "Hey, Uncle, what do you do?" And so on. So he told me what he did, and I said, "That sounds really interesting." I was good with numbers, and that interaction influenced me to become an accountant. And I even did accounts and finance in my sort of early years in higher education. And I worked in an accountant's office over a summer for 4 weeks. And I quickly realized, much to the dismay of my parents, that accountancy wasn't for me. So sometimes, you hear things, and you think they're great, and then you try it, which is why, another lesson I think is sometimes you have to try things for yourself, and you do hear things, you listen to things, but if you've got to know your own truth, and I realized it wasn't for me, simply because it wasn't very interactive in those days. So don't forget, my era was slightly different. Accountancy might have changed now,
He is 60.
Please.
but from this podcast, I'm going to take a fact that I need to look and feel even younger than what I'm feeling now. Because age is just a number, and you've been defying that.
Thank you.
I thought you must be joking with me. He asked me, so I'm like, probably you're in mid 50s or probably 48, 47. But 60 is,
blessed. And, part of that is my initial thoughts were to become an accountant. I realized it wasn't very interactive. You were more in the back office doing things. And I kind of,
You like to talk.
One skill I think, I kind of knew at an early age was that I like to be in interactions. And I kind of figured that out quite quickly. And I said, this is not for me. And I ended up, sort of customer roles, customer front-facing customer service in my Saturday jobs, uni jobs and so on. And I thought, I really like this, and then...
So I stop you here.
Sure.
I stop you, and if it's fine with you.
Of course.
Because there are questions popping up.
It's your show.
You mentioned that it's important for people to try. And there's a school of thought that, if you get into something, then just go deeper. When at that point, is it subjective, or there's any playbook wherein, I believe that I come from a school of thought, you try as early as possible, and then if you're intelligent or lucky enough to find your purpose, or what that in your case you realize that, okay, I'm more of an interactive person, I don't want to be behind the action, I want to be in the action, and you were gutsy enough to move that decision. Because lots of people in India and lots of students across, if they have taken engineering and they feel, now I've taken engineering, I've spent 4 years, even if they're good or not good at it, they will also do masters, and then they get into the same career. What's your view on this?
That's a great point. And many things there. I'll try and choose my words carefully. To me, and my advice often to students is, nobody knows you better than yourself. Yeah, nobody knows you better than yourself, and there's no one right thing for everybody. If you can figure out who you are, what excites you, what gives you passion, and you follow that passion, I feel your chances of going wrong are slimmer. Of course, there's people that follow their passion and don't make it, of course. But if you follow something that's not your passion, your chances of not succeeding are higher.
But how will you get to know it's your passion? Because passion also very very loosely used word.
True.
Everyone say that follow your passion.
True.
But don't you think, if I do something, if I do well, I tend to believe, or people push you to believe that this is your passion.
True. So close your eyes.
Okay.
Go back to a school day. Yeah? Typically, it's a Monday morning.
Is my show?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Go back to your school days. Okay? Monday morning. Did you look forward to any of your classes?
Yes.
Which one?
Good one. It was mostly sports.
Mostly sports. Look, you're athletic. I can tell you do your sports. So whenever you're doing sports, you're doing something.
Which I
You're
enjoyed.
excited. You're getting out of
Yes.
bed. You don't even feel tired. You know,
It's a great skill.
you're excited. You know, you've got somebody there that's.
But then I couldn't become a cricketer. I was good at it, you know.
But sports has so many different connotations. You could become an agent. You could become a psychologist. You could become, so many things related to your passion. You know, it's not that you have to be a cricketer. You know, we all, I had ambitions of being a cricketer. You know, but I was never going to make it. So, but I could play at club level. I could play at whatever, and I had that fix. But there's so many things related to that gets you in the industry. But you don't have to be the cricketer. You know, you could be the person that is the agent, that is the best friend, is the coach, is the whatever. You know, psychologist, many different things. You know, physiologist, and so on.
But don't you think it's still, follow your passion is one of the very overused and cliche, because many of people are not lucky enough to understand their passion.
True.
And when they believe their passion, they believe it's too late, or probably they're not in the situation to follow their passion.
So, and that's again a great point. I'm going to quote my son. My son is a brain trainer. He's a brain coach, and
Nice.
I'm a different generation. You mentioned my age. In my generation, we tended to see things fixed. You know, I was always doing this. I've got muscle memory. I'm going to keep on doing it. My son reminds me that even your brain is supple. If you go to the gym, as you do, Saurabh, and you never worked your legs and you always worked your arms, you're going to have bigger arms and you'll have bigger legs. In the same way, your brain can be a muscle. And if you never utilize it, it won't grow. So we are much more adaptable than we think we are. It's just practicing and doing that. And it's never too late, sir. Would you rather have a career that makes you miserable? And just because I spent 3 years or 4 years on it, I know it's a huge investment. But then again, it goes, prevention is better than cure. That's why we do a lot of things now at university level, where you try and do some psychometric testing, you try and do certain things that you try and help people identify what they're going to be more suited to, with a view that they go into a degree program that's probably more suited to them. But and again, even that might change, we change as personalities. But then, think about it. You're 25, you're 26, you're 28. One, there's no guarantee that what you're in is going to stay. If you look at now, 2030, which is just around the corner, 60% of, they say, different
Jobs
reports
will be totally different.
will not exist or be very different in nature.
And even if you go back 10 years back, content creator, influencers, this was never heard of.
Absolutely. And either you have to upskill, reskill,
All of that.
and now so then why not do it in something that excites you? And
It excites you, you'll also be good at it. Mostly.
it's never work, right? Honestly, I'm blessed. I've got a great boss. I've got a great team. I've literally, I'm not bragging, but literally from Tuesday to today, today's Saturday,
Yeah.
I've slept about 7-8 hours. We've had at least 30 meetings. We've hosted an event with almost 300 people. And I honestly don't feel tired. It's not a work day.
So where this energy coming? Okay, I got it that you are liking it. It's your passion. You're good at it.
I don't know if I'm good at it. I'll let others decide.
If you are senior director of GEDU Global Education, so I'm sure you have navigated your journey. But still, where this energy coming from?
So I think it's a mirror. I think it's reflective. So when you're passionate about something, it never feels like work. When you're engaging with people, because that's part of your job, and you're learning from them, listening from them, it gives you energy. And I think that's part of it, because there's something impact there. And for me, impact is two ways. I truly enjoy learning from people. So part of my job, of course, is taking GEDU to the next level. But I can only help take GEDU to the next level if I listen to our stakeholders. What are the issues? Why are there barriers? What's preventing us from working with you? What's preventing certain things? And then you try and fix those things. And every day is a learning day. So that's me. Everyone's different, but it helps me. And if you go back to my, one of the initial points was no one knows you better than yourself. And sometimes it takes a while to know yourself.
Exactly.
It does. I get that.
Yeah, and this is what I say, that it's okay, guys. You are just competing with yourself. Not even competing. You need to be a better version of yourself. And if you're even 0.1% better than yesterday, and you're at it, you will do good over a period of time. And patience. So one is this, that find your passion, and tell them you're not finding it. It's okay. Keep trying. It's and do not to be in rush. But also somewhere, I also believe this. That it's like if you have started something and it's working for you, or even if not working, but you are at it, and it's like you are sowing a tree or a plant, and if you are nurturing with skills, passion, impact, and it will take time to spurt and grow, but if you are at it, it will become a tree. Versus the thought we are saying that keep trying till time you don't know what you need to do, and in that case at time you don't able to probably grow, because the patience, the perseverance, the compound efforts of be at it. You're part of education industry for how many years?
35.
Right? And you've been successful. Do you think if you have been trying lots of things and then probably you're not able to find your passion or purpose, and not everyone is lucky to find passion or purpose or situations around it, in that case, what's your view, or how should one go about it?
Again, a very great, deep question. And to me, I hate to sound like I don't want to sound like a politician. I really don't want to sound like a politician. It really depends. It really depends on everyone. I don't think I found my passion, for a long while. I did realize I'm not going to be an accountant. I knew that. And I actually started working in retail. And much to the horror of my dad, that, you're leaving an accountant to go into retail. But I learned so much in retail. You learn about human interaction. You learn about consumers. You learn about consumer behavior. I probably knew I wasn't going to sell shoes for the rest of my life, but I used the opportunity, saying that it's not below me. It's important because you learn things like simple things like switch selling. Saurabh, you're asking me for a size 8. You really like this shoe, and I go to the stock room and I come out and I haven't got a size 8. But you know what? I'm not going to come out empty-handed. I'm going to come out with, I look next door to the shoe where your size, where the shoe you liked was, and there's probably a shoe that's very close to that one, similar. I'll come out with a similar one, and I'll probably come out with a 7.5 or an 8.5, which I've got in stock. And I'll say, sorry, dear customer, I'm really sorry, I don't have this one in an 8, but they come up really big. And, perhaps you want to try the 7.5. Nobody resists trying a smaller size. So even if you don't, you think, I'm definitely an 8, the guy, he brought it for me, he'll try the 7.5. And you never know, it might fit. You've got a 10% chance. And if you didn't bring it out, you got a 0% chance. Similarly, maybe the shoe next door. That's not the same one, but you're in a hurry. You've got to go to a party tonight. That 8 fits, and you're going to take it. So many life skills that you learn. And you'll be amazed at how they are transferable in so many other things in life. So when you do find your passion. So to me, any time I wasted in things, it was never a waste.
Yeah, nothing go wasted.
It was never a waste.
So I was about to say, nothing go wasted, nothing.
You make the most of it. And what my advice for students is, hey, if there are students listening, is, you've got many opportunities, part-time work. If no one's paying you, do voluntary work. Do voluntary work. Just get that experience. Get to see, am I going to like this? Is this something I can work with? Spend time with experienced people. Spend time with your parents. Spend time with your grandparents. Learn some of those things, and that will help you, certainly. But be open. It's very easy to take feedback the wrong way, but you've got to be open. You've got to understand people do see things differently. I was never good at that. I learned through life. I used to take things personally. I used to almost, cry when my boss, gave me feedback. I used to, I'm working so hard, and he's still not enjoying it, he's not appreciating it. But then you realize, they're there to improve you. Everyone's there to improve you. You might be great at what you're doing, but you're not beyond improvement. Yeah. And every day becomes your first day. And with that feedback, it's really important. So passion, experiment, comes from all these kind of things. You've got to do things. Don't be afraid. If an opportunity comes, you don't know how to do it, say yes and worry about how to do it later, but take it.
Everyone say I'm open for feedback, but when you give a feedback, not everyone like it, or mostly people don't like it. So how you go about it, being a senior leader?
I think everyone's different. You can talk to certain people in a certain way. You need to talk to other people in different ways. Things should be factual. They should never be circumstantial. They should never be,
Perception.
Absolutely. If you're giving constructive feedback, it has to be factual. If you're going to say to someone, "Hey, Raj, you're not doing a good job in this," you've got to be able to say how you're not doing a good job. And normally, it's a simple example would be everyone's got KPIs. Okay, so Raj, let's talk about sales. I spent a lot of time in my sales in my early days. I had a sales target when I was selling shoes. And simply, Raj, your target was £1,000 today to sell shoes worth £1,000. You're at £500. You didn't do it. I know you can do it. But what do I need to do to get you there? So you've got to have the facts. You've got to be able to do that. You're right. Sometimes it doesn't, and everyone wants to blame everything else. Oh, we didn't have the size, we didn't have this, but that's where the switch selling comes as well. What initiative did you use? What proactiveness did you do? And those things. So, and everyone's different.
You've been mentored, you've been learned the sales, or it's came with your experience by making mistakes or on the go?
So some of it, good companies give you theoretical training, but honestly, there's nothing like doing it yourself.
Absolutely.
When you immerse yourself.
Yes.
And this actually goes back to our GEDU pedagogy. If you go to any of our classrooms, Saurabh, yes, there might be a bit of theory to help you understand a concept, but almost everything is real world. Our professors come from industry in most of our institutions, so they give you those real world examples. We do want you to take, work experiences, solve real world problems, become critical thinkers and stuff like this. So we prepare you really for the workplace. So, yeah.
You talk about GEDU. Why don't you tell what is GEDU?
GEDU is the company I'm blessed to work with, Global Education.
That's the name, Global Education?
Yeah, Global, G, and then
Yeah.
EDU. So it's GEDU is our acronym, GEDU, and stands for Global Education. Started as very humbly in 2010 by our chairman, our founder, Dr. Rana, in the UK. Small single campus. Today we have 13 campuses in the UK, providing life-changing opportunities to more than 40,000 students. I'm blessed to head the international recruitment efforts. We started international, meaning everything outside the UK, about 4 years ago. Today we've got campuses in United Arab Emirates, France, Germany, Spain, Malta, United States of America, Australia, India, and many more coming.
And when did it start?
In the UK in 2010, and then international 2021. Just in Dubai, and now today I mentioned all those countries in the last 4 years. So we truly believe education changes lives.
Yeah.
And we want to provide access to quality education for students all over the world. Many of our students didn't even dream about education locally, let alone abroad. So we're opening opportunities for students here in India to study in France.
We have a campus in India.
We do have a campus in India, but most of our students from India would travel abroad.
Where we have come in India?
Germany.
No, in India?
In India, we're all over. We have a team that's...
But do we have a campus like...
So we're going to be in Gift City.
Oh, nice.
One of our brands is going to open in Gift City. There'll be an opening in September this year. And there'll be more coming. GEDU also, for anyone interested in, we are into higher education. We've made our name in higher education. We are taking our first foray into K-12. The world famous Queen Elizabeth schools. You know London very well, Saurabh. There's a 450 years of legacy. There's a campus, Queen Elizabeth campus in Barnet in North London.
Wow.
60-70% of their students end up in Oxford, Cambridge. GEDU has the rights to bring Queen Elizabeth to India. we'll be opening our first campus probably right here, very close to you in Gurgaon. And then opening more campuses in India of Queen Elizabeth schools.
Why all the international universities or colleges are coming in India now at this point in time?
I can't speak for them all, but certainly for me, India's a huge market. We are extremely conscientious people. Academia and learning is in our DNA. It's always been something that's defined India in many ways. So it was a market we definitely didn't want to ignore. We also respect. There's some fantastic institutions here, but there's also people like diversity and life.
And then demand supply imbalance.
Demand, there's that. There's that side of it, certainly for quality education. And there's also, people, to your point about, finding passion and what have you, I think trial and error and diversity is really important. How do you follow something? And I was going to answer that question with, look, you can have a passion for something, drive something, 90%, but always have a backup.
Yeah.
If you look at the successful entrepreneurs and successful business person, they didn't put all their eggs in one basket. Similarly, sometimes you feel you're really interested in a particular style or a particular country or whatever, but have a backup, and it's always good to have a plan B.
What is your plan B?
So for various things, so a lot of work that we do, I'll give you an example. So we have a lot of partners here in India that recruit students. So we do a lot of B2B. Not because that we don't want to engage with students. Of course, we want to engage with students, but you can scale better. And I want to be in every corner of India. I want to bring diversity into our classrooms because it enriches the classroom. If you have everybody that's similar in a classroom, yes, it could be good, but you won't get different perspectives. You won't get different ideas. By being open to diversity and reaching the remote parts of different countries, you're giving people an opportunity to learn about GEDU.
Agree.
And also you're enriching your classrooms by bringing diversity.
Agree.
So a lot of what we do now, a lot of people are, India's traditionally been a market of the big four, USA, Canada, UK, to an extent, Australia. And, speaking to our partners, that's fine. That's great. But you know what? What happens if a certain president does something in USA and that closes your tap? You've got to think you've got to have a backup. You've got to look at France. You've got to look at Germany. And these are not secondary products. These are top products, accredited programs, great schools with history. Our Schiller campus, for example, our Schiller University, International University, is over 60 years old, over 20,000 alumni. Many of whom are from India, doing some amazing things.
We need international students. So many international universities can't survive without international students. That's a fact. Still, there are governments, policies, which keep changing, and also provide lots of uncertainty, provide lots of, to be honest, very unfair to students. All the universities, colleges need international students, but when it comes to outcome, when it's come to taking a responsibility or accountability, governments don't like immigration, or at least they don't like in the fourth year. They are happy with 2-3 years, but when there's an election year, you are the soft target. And it's not in UK, it's everywhere, and it's getting more deeper. Why the ecosystem, universities, thought it like you are not coming and vouching for it? And if you're vouching, why these things are happening?
Yeah, look, it's a beautiful question again, and there's so many different connotations to that question. If you look at it from a government policy point of view, almost one of the fundamental jobs of government is to protect their people. So, if you have a lot of people coming from overseas, and we saw this in the UK through Brexit and the vote for Brexit, which I don't have to repeat, but pretty much a lot of the Brits felt that our jobs were being taken by people from outside us, and we're not looking at our own people. But then if you really go deeper, government job is to be balanced.
Yeah.
A lot of those jobs that we felt were being taken by foreigners were probably jobs that Brits didn't want to do themselves.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And now there's a clamor for, did we do the right thing in Brexit, for example, because and it's not just, low-end jobs. There'll be a shortage of doctors in the UK. So you
Nurses.
can't, nurses, you cannot block that channel. And Brits are talented people, but perhaps nursing and going, GP is not something that they want to do. So you need that immigration to solve a fundamental issue in your country. And if you look at, for example, the service industry, a lot of people associate foreigners coming in and doing things in the service industry. Again, if you look at Britain's example, many Brits want to work perhaps, but they don't want to serve tables in a Costco. Again, I'm not stereotyping, but you see the need to balance.
Yeah.
So it is a difficult job. I get it. So the perception was, look, you've got foreign people coming in. They're coming under the guise of a university education. You're offering them PSWs. And then when they come in, they're taking our jobs and then staying. And then there's immigration and stuff, PRs and what have you. And then from a international student's point of view, it's, look, if I'm going to go abroad, I want to look at opportunities where I can stay.
Yeah.
So that's always been the dream. So how do you do both, and balance and keep everyone happy? I think if you ask me, one of the ways is you can have a balance. There are some parts of the world where perhaps we can benefit from education in a different world, in a different country. I shouldn't say different world, in a different country. Learn from it, make network, and bring that learning to your home country and help it develop, and escalate jobs there. And if I look in India today, and I look at some of the talent here, and I look at some of the people here, and I just before I came here, Saurabh, I walked into Starbucks, lovely young man that served me, beautiful manners, and I'm thinking, great place, clean, fast service. I don't want to go anywhere else. Why would I want to go anywhere else? But I could benefit from an education abroad if I really want to. And that can only be something that I can help improve myself and maybe my macro system around me.
You went into domestic students and then moved to international students as an organization, right? When an international student is spending 50 to 70,000 pounds or dollar or whatever currency, and they're still not sure about employment, or they are not even, probably many of the universities just have career services for heck of it, right? How does it feel? Why people need to educate?
Yeah.
And if they need to educate, why international students? Why you need to take loans and spend fortune?
So thank you for that question. And I think at Global Education, our DNA is to make quality education affordable and accessible. So a simple example, we do our research very well. We truly believe every one of our stakeholders should get a return on their investment. So one of our products, for example, we've got GBS Malta. Okay, at Malta, GBS offers a couple of undergraduate programs, few master's programs, an MBA with 5 specializations, an MSc in public health, an MSc in computer science and IT. It's a British accreditation. It's a British equivalent master's program. In the UK, you'll pay 15,000 pounds. In Malta, you'll pay 7,000 euros. Malta has a 9-month PSW. Most of our students that graduate in Malta don't even need the 9-month because they will have a job while they're working. And in a number of cases...
Do you guarantee that, or have you...
20 hours legally.
So that's why Malta. But what about, as you're saying, most of the students will get a job. Is there any... do we have any numbers? In
Malta, 86% of our students are working part-time while they're studying. 100% of students that wanted to stay behind in Malta found jobs. Many of whom got offered positions with the company that they were working part-time with. So one, instead of spending 15,000 pounds, you spend 7,000 euros. Secondly, Malta has a wonderful scheme called Get Qualified. When you earn a degree in Malta from a licensed and accredited institution, and you stay in Malta, and you start paying tax, income tax, as we have to, after you've completed a tax year, you get 70% of your tuition back as a tax credit. So let's say you've been there 2 years, Saurabh, you've done an MBA with GEDU, so 7,000 euros you spent, you graduated, You started working full time. You've completed a full year working. You paid tax that year. Use an example. Let's say you paid 8,000 euro tax.
You get 7,000 back.
You're going to get 4,900 back.
Yeah, seven. Yeah.
Your MBA, from the equivalent of a British university credential, that you would have paid £15,000 in the UK, ends up costing you 2,100 euro. I'm pretty sure you're going to get a return on your investment.
And what about people who don't get it? Or everyone gets it?
You don't have to stay in Malta. If you don't stay in Malta, you'll have spent 7,000 euro on an MBA. So some of our students, few of them, are going there just to earn the credential and then come back to their home country and contribute that, getting better jobs. And
How did you get into education? You and then GEDU?
so, one wonderful question. So I was in London in the late 80s. I loved retail. But we went through a recession in the late 80s in the UK. So when you go into a recession, retail is one of the industries, is not going to do very well because people don't spend too much money. So one of the things you do invest in a recession is yourself. So with my accounts background, customer service background in retail, there was a student financial accounts officer position in an American college in London. And I just happened to see it. It was actually through a headhunter. And I applied for it, had an interview, somehow got the job very luckily. Started as a junior at the age of 25. Switched careers. Went from banking to retail to now working in a college in central London. But back to my passion of finance. So the finance and accounting that I learned actually helped me get my first job in academia.
And you always been to GBS or?
No, GBS 3 years young. I just joined GEDU in 2022, June 1st to be exact. So 3 years next week. And I hope I'm there for a lot longer. But I started in London, the American College in London, and then moved to Dubai in 1999. Spent 22 years in Dubai. We went for 2. I worked for the American University in Dubai.
I just got my UAE golden visa.
Congratulations. Great place to be.
Yeah. I believe it's a gateway to GCC. Do you think Dubai will have the potential to be Singapore in terms of education hub?
I always think comparisons are, not the best thing to do. And you always look at something in isolation. So what Dubai has done really well, it's got the highest number of international branch campuses than anywhere else in the world. There's almost 70, if not more, international branch campuses. So you've got something for everybody. Not every learner is the same. Everyone's different. Not everyone is looking for a triple accredited institution, ranked number 1, etc. But if you've got that, you've got some universities that have, offer you places in Dubai or options in Dubai. You've got the sort of typical tier 2, tier 3 type institutions. You've got the ones that, $40,000, $30,000 to $40,000. You've also got the affordable options. So Dubai has done that well. They've built a kind of a Boston type model where you've got something for everybody. So in that regard, it's done really well in itself. It's also built an ecosystem that facilitates an education hub. Many companies have moved there. They're looking for employees. In the early days, just to give you a bit of history, Saurabh, early days, most companies had to employ people as expats. Expat hiring is very expensive. You've got to cover tuition for the kids. You've got to cover airline tickets, medical expenses, and return airfare home, etc. It's not a system that's sustainable. Cost to company is immense. So if you're building an ecosystem where you can have local people, you can hire locally. You've got local talent that have earned good university degrees. So students are finding jobs. It's affordable. It's the safest place in the world for women. It's got something for everyone. Many people associate the Middle East as just oil. It's not. And now Dubai's economy is almost 90% GDP is almost 90% non-oil.
Yeah.
So a fantastic ecosystem to go with the education. So is it a Singapore? I can't tell you. But do I think it will survive? Absolutely. Do I think it will be robust and, thrive? Absolutely.
And what is the future of international education, GEDU, and yourself?
Can't think too far, as you mentioned my age, so I can't think too far ahead.
You have 30, 40 years, so minimum. And you surprised because that's good. You actually in pink of your health.
Thank you. Look, GEDU is very aggressive in. We get very annoyed when education is considered a privilege. For us, education should be a right.
Yeah.
So our chairman, thanks to our chairman, we're very aggressive in opening more campuses around the world because we want to continue that affordability channel. We want to continue by the quality channel. We want to continue making sure that our pedagogy, our classrooms are run in such a way that we're preparing students for the real world and today's global economy. So if you look at the way we've changed things in some of our campuses that have been around for a long time, is we've changed in the courses. So today, we've got data science, we've got analytics, we've got sustainability, so things that are, as the world changes, we're keeping in touch with that.
Yeah.
We're evolving. So this, and we'll continue to do that. You'll see us opening more campuses, Touchwood. And through education, we'll continue to change lives. I hope I'm there for as much of that time as possible. But I think with our sustainable model, if my kids and my grandkids want to work for GEDU, hopefully, we'll be around for years to come.
You got lots of ESOPs.
I think the way our chairman runs the company, we all feel like we own it, although we don't. But
And that's the right way.
Truly.
Yeah.
It's never a work day.
What he do different? I mean, you work with so many leaders, and not trying to compare with Dr. Anna and on leadership, but when you have luxury and liberty, and I can take that advantage to learn, wherein you have worked more than probably 40 years now.
Close.
Yeah. So you have,
including part-time and university
yeah.
jobs.
So you have multiple leaders, multiple managers. What are those 3 or 5 qualities as a young founder? Would say young, I'm 40, right? Which want to grow and learn more and manage bigger teams, which are like must for any leader.
I could name 10, but I'll try and keep it down to 3. Very careful about what he says and does as he says. There's no divorce between his rhetoric and reality. You spoke about feedback earlier. He's straight. He's not going to,
Mince his words.
Mince his words. He's going to give it to you straight and directly. And I think a lot of people appreciate that. Despite being super successful himself, I mentioned my week this week. From Tuesday night, what we've done. Up until last night, he was with me side by side, same energy, same passion. We finished an event at 2 a.m. We both caught a flight yesterday morning at 7:45. We were at the hotel at 5:30, ready to go, and caught that flight at 7:45. We were an hour away from the airport, and he was with me toe to toe. In fact, leading by example and doing better than me.
But where this drive coming from for you and Dr. Anna and your team? I have seen your team is a very, very driven team, and most of you are like doing well in your career.
For me, it's obviously having a leader like Dr. Anna. The message, education changes lives. And there's a lot of people that are craving for education, but for whatever reason, life is tough. Sometimes we take it as just for granted that, I'll get a place here, I'll get a place there, etc. And I've got access, my parents are blessed, and I'm able to just take it for granted that, school, university, whatever I want to do is easy and affordable. It's not like that for everybody. So that change, and through education, you do change lives. And through changing lives and making lives better for people, you're changing the world. So I think that drive. I think we work hard because of that. We wake up with that hunger, that desire of wanting to, and seeing the impact. Because the good thing with education, you don't have to wait very long. If someone does a master's in 1 year, they've changed their life. You can see that same person who came in, you spoke to them, and they were, thinking, is this the right program? And then they're finished and they've got a job, they've a better job and so on. So it's almost instant rewards, you know. And then, so we all wake up with that hunger, that passion to change people's lives. And then, you know, I often say to people today, the younger, if I can say the younger generation today, you know, there's going to be phases in your life where you're going to have to tough it out. You're going to have to work really hard. But do that. Build your legacy. And the rest of your world, the rest of your life is going to be great, you know. But when the sun shines, you've got to make that hay. And if you put in everything in what you do, you're going to make hay, you know. And that's your career set. If you want to coast, just go through things. You'll have potential, but you'll never reach it.
And it's just a shallow life then. You think so?
Absolutely. You're cruising.
Yeah.
And again, there's people that want to do that. They're very happy.
Yeah. Nothing wrong in that.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. But then you can't look at others and say, "Oh my goodness, look how successful they are. Look how
right. There's a cost to it.
There's
efforts to it,
and you're a prime example of that. You know, you work hard, you work all the hours, you diversified, you've put in the grit, you put in the, you know, and it shows. It doesn't happen by chance.
Yeah.
And there's going to be phases. This is not going to last forever.
Yeah.
And you've got to make the most of it. And I think GEDU gives you, as an employee, the opportunity to do that if you want to.
Any question for me?
Not question, but a statement. I've just met you for the first time. I know we've engaged and messaged each other on WhatsApp. I didn't know what to expect when I came here, meeting you for the first time. I just want to say I am truly impressed with everything you've done, everything you've achieved. I congratulate you.
Thank you.
I tell you, don't stop.
Yes.
You're doing amazing things.
Will not.
You're doing amazing things.
Yes.
What you're doing is ever so important with our ecosystem, what we do in education. You take a lot of the stress away from what we do. And, you know, studying abroad is not easy.
Yeah.
But when you can say to somebody, look, I'll look after your accommodation, I'll look after your flight tickets, let me worry about this, let me worry about that, you take away so much of that stress and you let them do what they need to do. So keep on doing it. And I'm ever so privileged to have met you.
No, thank you. Likewise, the feelings are mutual. You know, I'll still won't leave. There's a rapid fire and last question.
Oh my goodness, rapid fire.
You know, coffee shots. You know, why you have traveled, you have studied, you're a local Brit, you're Indian by heart. Why still lots of international students, especially Asians, still wait to book their accommodation last minute? Because it's been 10
Is this
years.
rapid fire?
Before that, you know, this is one question and then all rapid fires.
See, Saurabh, you know, I think we're all slave to change. And I think, you know, something that we're wonderful people as Indians. I consider myself an Indian, although, as I said, I was born in Kenya and have a British passport, and I've spent 51 years of my life in the UK. Sometimes, you know, it's just our nature. Ho jayega, you know, and sometimes you have to realize, you know, the more you say ho jayega, one, you run a risk of perhaps nahi hoega, and secondly, you might pay somehow because the options of, you know, there's the reason we have advanced purchase, right? In so many things, from airlines to trains to so on, hotels, because, you know, you're going to save a lot of heartache last minute and probably money.
And discomforts.
And comforts. And you know, we've got to start changing those things.
How to change that mindset?
I think sometimes
podcast is one way to doing it. What else we can do together to educate not only students, parents, universities, education agents, but the whole lot of stakeholders.
I think sometimes, you know, you have to, unfortunately, some people have to be burnt and learn the hard way because it costs them more. But I think, you know, maybe in our anecdotal stories when we're speaking about an example without sounding salesy, but you know what, I had such and such customer who left it till the last minute. I had someone that booked this 2 months ago. This is what this person paid. This is what this person ended up paying. Moreover, they didn't get their visa because the embassy wasn't convinced that, you know, they were really going for education. They were going, you know, they thought it was such a last minute booking. No. You know, all those true facts that you can do as comparisons. Here's someone that booked in time, and this is what it meant. Apart from the blood pressure, you know, which you get the high BP.
Which you can track now.
So high blood pressure, more
High cost.
money,
Yeah.
and perhaps don't get what you wanted to get.
Yeah, less options.
Exactly. And maybe it might even hurt you on the visa side of things. We'll keep at it. Though it is changing.
It's changing.
Every time
For
I come
sure.
back to
Yeah,
India,
yeah.
it is changing.
People
And-
in India, people in Asia, they used to come in July, August, now June. People coming as early as Jan, Feb. So when my team is getting a call that we are looking at accommodation in January, going for September, we're like, okay, guys, it's happening. We are the change. Be at it.
Phenomenal.
So yeah,
See, it's good to see.
yeah,
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. And more people do that, then it becomes the norm.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
and then behavior changes.
Absolutely.
And
Rapid fire.
Oh my goodness.
No filters.
I'm scared.
In your head, students should choose ROI or passion first.
Passion.
What one trend in international education that actually excites you and one that just make your roll your eyes?
I think teaching pedagogy. You've got to teach material that's relevant for the real world.
So
And if you don't,
Okay, good one. Would you trust an AI to screen students better than a human counselor? Why or why not?
I wouldn't. I think the human element remains important. Authenticity remains important.
So AI gonna be enabler, but can't be just be.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You can use AI to a lot of things, a lot of advantage, but I think you will still need the human touch for authenticity. Yeah.
What success metrics you track regular in your work that most people in your role never bother with?
I don't know whether other people are not, but I think just being kind for me, it's lovely when I'm walking in the mall in Dubai. I can have a student that recognizes me from 2000 and just comes and says, Professor Kapoor, you taught me marketing in 2000 at the American University in Dubai, and I must have done something that made them remember that.
So you're based in Dubai,
I was in Dubai for 22 years.
but now you're in UK.
Now I'm in the UK. I became a grandfather. So,
Oh, wow.
Hence,
You definitely getting more fan following, and because of him, probably I get some followers. So guys, do follow and subscribe.
I'm a nana.
You're Nana. Wow. And Dubai or India or UK? Sorry, I have to put you on the spot.
I loved living in Dubai. I'm enjoying being back in the UK. My heart's in India.
I will not leave. I will put. I need some. Some hook, right? Education or sports.
Sports education.
We ended here, guys. Because firstly he's tight on time. Secondly,
And that's true because
Yeah.
my full-time career, although I don't call it work, is education, and I love doing my sports every weekend, every
all
day.
kind of sports.
Soccer, cricket, played rugby when I was a boy. I love going to the gym. I don't work out like you, but I
don't go to gym.
I just
You're just keeping me on spot. I'm like, when I'm going to gym, I don't like gym at all. I like to play sports, but how important it is, for an educationist who been on the troll, flying, eating anything, everything, to take care of the health, because it's very, very important. While we are doing well, we miss the health part.
It's a great question, and I lost my father very young. He was very young. My mum wasn't very old. I lost my older brother. And it's a cliche, sometimes you read things and you say you can have all the money in the world, but the health is wealth. And until it happens to you, you don't realize that. But health truly is wealth. And that's how important it is.
So how can people in this ecosystem, how can we take our health?
Again, it's your own
But still,
willpower. It's your willpower. Like, honestly, my day will start. We've got a team in Southeast Asia. I'm in London. We've got a team in Latin. I'm in London. So my day could start, my messages will start 4 a.m. It could go on till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. But 5:30, 5 o'clock actually, I'm up. I'll have my chai by 5:15. 5:30, I'm in the gym. 6:30, I'm out because I know I won't do it any other time. Then I have my shower, and then I end up, if I'm in London, I'll go to the office in London. But that's my, whatever time I go to bed, I'll make sure I'm up. And it's just a decision I made. And funny enough, no matter what time I go to bed, if I'm not up at 5 to go to the gym, I'll have a lousy day. And, I feel it.
So you have created your habits and
It's habitual.
routine.
It's habitual.
I have so many more questions to ask Raj.
We'll
But
continue. Part two.
Yes, part two.
Part 2. You have my word.
Yes,
You
done.
have my word.
And continue get guests like Raj and who've been very kind with their time, with their insights, with their wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.